Among the horrors of October 7th, 2023, there were also countless stories of heroism, courage, love, faith, and miracles. Youri Levine, or Yeruchim Levine, is 25 years old. He grew up in a religious family in Bnei Brak in Israel. Recently, he was living in Kfar Gaza at the border of Gaza. As the terrorists entered the morning of October 7th, Simchas Torah, to slaughter and kidnap as many Jews as possible, Youri was in his home in Kfar Gaza. His story is beyond incredible. As the Hamas monsters came to his home, he sealed himself off in the mamad, in his reinforced security room, hiding under the bed for hours. The terrorists decided after a few hours to set his small home on fire to force him to evacuate. The smoke began to fill the room where he was, and then they decided to blow up the door. What do you do at such a moment? Youri began debating. Should I scream Shema Yisrael and accept my death sentence? Or should I fight? In a moment's decision, he decided that no matter what happened, he would fight for his life. He jumped through the window. And when he landed, he was caught by 3 terrorists. One armed with a knife, the second with an axe, the third with a Kalashnikov rifle. The terrorists seized him, grabbed him, and started to lead him towards Gaza. Youri went with them, pretended to surrender completely. His head was down, his body language displayed complete submission to the killers. The terrorists led him thousands of feet into Gaza. And then at some point, the terrorist armed with a Kalashnikov rifle decided to leave the group. At this moment, with bravery and courage that surprised the killers, Youri detached his hand from the grip of the terrorists, turned around, and ran in the direction of Israel. The stunned terrorists, who had not yet recovered from the twist in the plot, began to pursue him. Youri is a physically fit fellow, almost completely undressed at the time, galloped with the force of the will to live. He ran and ran knowing they were chasing him. Shots were fired to murder him. As he entered the border of Israel, he knew there were terrorists everywhere. He can hear this shouting of Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar. Rockets and bullets are flying. And then he suddenly sees a large bush. He runs under the bush. He lay there for 5 hours, saying Shema Yisrael, praying to God for his survival. As the Israeli soldiers finally arrived and cleaned up the kibbutz from the monsters, they noticed a living body under the bush. They wanted to shoot him. They were certain he was a terrorist, but at the last moment he screamed, Ani Yehudi, I am Jewish. They took him to safety. One of the special forces fighters joked afterwards and he said, we saw an Ashkenazi in his underwear and decided he was no threat. Wow, the courage of this young man, the only hostage to have escaped from the Hamas monsters, living today safe in Israel as we pray daily for all of our hostages and for all of our soldiers for complete liberation and victory from the hands of dark evil, sending them all the love and all the prayers in the world. I learned such a powerful personal lesson from Youri Levine. I have a piece of negativity or darkness inside of me. It may not even be mine, maybe something injected into me by someone else or some events outside of myself, yet it lives in me and it tries to kidnap me, to hijack my soul, my brain, my heart, to infuse me with negativity, with darkness, with despair, self-loathing, anger, shame, hatred, chaos, destructive cravings, or what have you. It may be a darkness and a trauma that was imbued in me, and I am completely not guilty, but it lives there. I want to learn from Youri how to have the courage to tear myself away from the hands of my captors inside and never allow them to eclipse my internal and eternal flame of love. Happy Hanukkah.